Okay, so LSAT Writing has been decoupled from the test, right? So now you can just take it online at home at any time after or before you take the official test. Most schools do require it. No, all schools require it as far as I know. Not all of them look at it necessarily, but all of them will want that. And the supposed reasons are twofold. One, just to see your writing in a timed setting in which you can't get outside help or review. And the writing is a lot like what you're going to do in law school, because what they do is they give you a scenario in which there is no right answer. Like you have to argue for one position or another, and that's exactly what you do in law school. Law school is like, if you go into a law school exam and you look at the facts that they give you and you're like, well, obviously this company should be held liable for their negligence, you're probably missing something, because they've given you a fact pattern where there are some facts that suggest the company should be held liable and there are some facts that suggest it should not, and law school is really testing your ability to identify all of them. And a lot of times your grades in law school is just, okay, there were 17 potential issues here and you spotted 16 of them, you have an A, or whatever the curve is, for that class. And if you only have one-sided issue, then you're not going to spot, if you're like myopically focused on why they're liable as opposed to why they're not liable, then you're going to get a low score. Well, the writing sample is very similar. They give you two scenarios, there are facts that kind of support both positions, and they want you to argue for one, so you do have to argue for one, but you have to show that you're cognizant of the other potential problems. So a lot of times you need this like forceful advocacy, but at the same time you need to say, although this other option might be good for this reason, I still think we should go with this option for whatever reason.
So is it like a first person thing, or does it not matter?
Well, you don't necessarily need to use I a lot. You just, in fact, probably never. You're just saying, so-and-so should do this, here's why, and you just focus on the facts that are given to you. Now, so the first purpose is to assess your writing. That's kind of seeing how you'll likely do in law school exams, maybe. The second purpose is to decide whether or not you had, or you cheated or something with your personal statement. Because there are certain like writing tics that people just like do, and if you aren't doing them in both places, they might catch that and say, hey. Like if your personal statement should be a lot better than your writing sample, obviously, because you've had time to review it and write it and write it and write it, whereas your writing sample is just like, 35 minutes. But like if your personal statement is just beyond anything that you can cough up in the writing sample, they might be suspicious.
So if you sign up for, say you sign up for the April LSAT, or whatever
The April LSAT, yep.
when and how do you do the writing?
You just, you can take it any time, so before or after the test. I would suggest taking it before your score gets out. So focus on the LSAT until the April LSAT, take the April LSAT, then you have 2 or 3 weeks until your score comes out, usually 3, and so then you're just like, okay, well, what am I going to be doing with my time right now? I'm going to be working on my personal statement, and one day I'm going to sit down and do the writing sample.
And it's just through LSAT.
It's just online. Yeah. Cool. All right, guys.